Welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Brian Fisher with you. Glad to have you in the conversation. Going to play some sound bites from CPAC. And if you've got any reactions, something resonates with you in what you hear in some of these sound bites, and you want to call in, express that, we'd love to hear from you. 888-589-8840. 888-589-8840. And also, we talked about the that spooky resemblance of the History Channel's Satan to Barack Obama. So you might have some kind of reaction to that. We've got the connection between porn and violence against children and against women. It's unmistakable. And we've got the story about Fox News doing much more factual reporting, big surprise there, than MSNBC. And, I made the observation that people are not just interested in news. They want some understanding of what the news mean, what the facts means. They want factual reporting, yeah. I mean, you guys don't want me making stuff up. I mean, you want to know that what I'm basing my commentary on is rooted in what actually happened. It's rooted in history, it's rooted in fact, it's rooted in the truth. But you're also tuning in because you want some help in understanding what all of that means. So I'd love to have you weigh in on any of that, 888-589-8840. Now, here is Sarah Palin. She delivered a knockout speech. And you listen to these, you think about how this woman has been caricatured by the mainstream media. Dumb. She's not too bright. She's a dim bulb. And you listen to this woman talk for 30 minutes, and she's bright, she's articulate, she's witty, and she's insightful. Not anything like the caricature that has been painted of her by the media. In fact, that business, I can see Russia from my house. A lot of people still today think that Sarah Palin said that. She didn't. Tina Fey said that on Saturday Night Live. It was a pretty cute little sketch, but it was all predicated on this caricature that Sarah Palin is a moron. And, of course, none of it's true. And Tina Fey had a pretty good knock-em-dead Sarah Palin impression, so people think that Sarah Palin said, I can see Russia from my house. And, of course, she said nothing of the sort. But a lot of people still today think that because the media will just rip you to shreds. In fact, let's, if we can, Rob, let's drop down to, I want to grab that Juan Williams clip before we jump into this. Where is that? It's down the rundown pretty far. The one I had it. No, it's further down than that. It's where his commentary, Juan Williams' commentary. 37. Go all the way down to clip 37 if you can find it. It's the Juan Williams one where he talks about what the media is going to do to you. And this is Juan Williams. This is exactly what they did. They did it to Juan Williams. He didn't like it. This is exactly what they've been doing to Sarah Palin since 2008. Let's listen.
I always thought that it was the Archie Bunkers of the world, the right-wingers of the world, who were more resistant, more closed-minded about hearing the other side, about allowing me to say, well, wait, hold on, I don't think that's right. Let me tell you what I think. But in fact, what I've learned is, in a very painful way, and I can open the shirt and show you the scars and the knife wounds, is that it's big media institutions who are identifiably more liberal to left-leaning, who will shut you down, stab you, and kill you, fire you, if they perceive that you are not telling the story in the way they want it told.
So that's Juan Williams, got the scars to prove it. Now, with that backdrop, with the way the media savaged Sarah Palin, I want you to listen to, I got 4 sound bites from her. We'll play them pretty much back to back to back, the highlights of her CPAC speech on Saturday. Here's clip number 1.
All this stuff coming lately from the White House to take away the good guys' freedom and the right to protect ourselves with the most naive notion that the bad guys who ignore the laws, that all of a sudden they're going to follow some new laws. Yeah, it's not about the bad guys. No, it's all about the lead. It's like solely that chunk of metal did the crime. That's like saying solely that fork made me fat. And background checks, Yeah, I guess to learn more about a person's thinking and associations and intentions. More background checks. Dandy idea, Mr. President. Should have started with yours.
Thunderous applause. If we're in the business of background checks, Sarah Palin says, Mr. Obama, we should have started with your background check. Here is clip number 2. And again, Sarah Palin said, look, what we're about here at this is a conservative political action conference. This is not the Republican Party political action conference. This is the conservative political action conference. And she says, look, what we're here to deal with, what we're about is way more than just a political organization. Let's listen.
Let's be clear about one thing. We're not here to rebrand a party. We're here to rebuild a country. We're not here to dedicate ourselves to new talking points coming from D.C. We're not here to put a fresh coat of rhetorical paint on our party. We're not here to abandon our principles in a contest of government giveaways. That's a game we will never, ever win.
Good for you, Sarah Palin. That's the problem with this GOP rebranding thing. We'll talk about this more in the second hour. But this GOP rebranding thing from their poobahs, the Henry Barbers, that's Haley Barber's son, and Ari Fleischer, spokesman for Bush, supposed to be the brightest bulbs in the box, the wizards of smart. And they say we can't win unless we go for amnesty. They're just pandering to Hispanics, just pandering to Latinos, and abandoning their base. I mean, that's not how you grow a party, by abandoning your base, sticking your thumb in their eye, and saying, we know that you care about the rule of law, you care about things like assimilation, but we don't care about that. We don't care anything about what our base believes in. We don't care about anything that's important to our base. All we care about is pandering to people that we're never, ever going to get to vote for us. That's what's just absurd about the GOP. This is the Republican National Committee officially adopting amnesty as the GOP position. I mean, it's just absurd. It is absolutely, completely suicidal. They go down this path, and they're apparently headed down at full speed ahead. They're throwing a welcome mat out to illegal alien criminals. They're opening the front door to illegal alien criminals. That sucking sound you hear, GOP, is conservatives leaving the party out the back door. Now, here is clip number 3. Remember in the State of the Union address that Barack Obama gave a couple of years ago, Joe Wilson from South Carolina just interjected right in the middle because Barack Obama was telling a bald-faced lie about how his policies were going to affect illegal immigrants. And he said, you lie. Just said it right out in front of God and everybody. And that became the scandal of the week, scandal of the month. Well, here is Sarah Palin kind of picking up on that and using it her own way.
No budget for 4 years is not just bureaucratic bungling. Refusing to pass a budget is government refusing to declare what it intends to do with the people's money. Barack Obama promised the most transparent administration ever. Barack Obama, you lie.
Barack Obama, you lie. She's bringing it straight on. Then one last soundbite. This is how she wound up her speech. Rousing finish.
America, you deserve better than that. We deserve better than the people who call themselves our leaders. But we won't get it unless we're ready to fight. And this is one fight that is worth it. If we have faith in we the people, if we teach America's foundation of work ethic and development of our natural resources, if we believe in the charters of freedom that guide us, if we trust in the promise of opportunity that binds us, if we know the providential hand that made America exceptional and respects the innocent life that he creates, then we will save our movement. And then with hard work, humility, and the grace of our loving God, we will save our country.
So there's Sarah Palin. This is unabashedly pro-life. She talks there clearly about the sacredness of every single life in the womb. She talks unabashedly about faith in God, and it was enthusiastically embraced. I mean, these are not extremist out-of-touch positions. It is the liberals who are extremist and out of touch. They're out of touch with the heartbeat of the American people, which has a profound reverence for God and a profound reverence for life and a respect for faith and for people of faith. They're the ones that are out of touch. They're the ones that are extreme. Now let's grab one Ted Cruz clip before we go to the break. This is Ted Cruz, gave a great speech also. Here's what he had to say, clip 5.
10 weeks ago, I arrived in Washington, D.C. to be sworn into office. When I stood on the floor of the Senate with my hand on the family Bible, I couldn't help but think back to 1957. 1957, my father came from Cuba. He had been imprisoned, he'd been tortured in Cuba, and he came to Texas with nothing, with $100 in his underwear, didn't speak a word of English. Washed dishes, making 50 cents an hour. As I was standing on the Senate floor, I couldn't help but think, if someone had come up to that 18-year-old kid as he was washing dishes and suggested to him that 55 years hence, his son would be sworn into office as a United States Senator representing the great state of Texas. That would have been unimaginable. That would have been beyond anything he could possibly have conceived. And yet there was my father sitting in the gallery looking down as I took the oath of office.
That's Ted Cruz, just a compelling story, and Marco Rubio's story is very similar. His father, likewise, an immigrant from Cuba, and just came here, worked hard, worked 3 jobs in order to give his kids a better shot at the American dream, better life than he was able to enjoy, and wound up with a son who was a United States Senator. Ted Cruz's father, almost exactly the same story. And again, just a reminder that America still is the land of exceptionalism, the land of possibility, the land of opportunity. Focal Point, AFR Talk.